Before we start this video, I'm really excited to announce we have been sponsored this season by Football Prizes, and the first prize is here. It is a raffle website where you can get involved with loads of different clubs. However, obviously we're going to stick predominantly with Everton, and this week we've got an absolute banger of a competition. £4.95 a raffle ticket, and you could win a signed Duncan Ferguson shirt, framed, the works. This shirt is absolutely beautiful, absolutely fantastic. It ends on Monday at 7:30, so make sure you go and get a raffle ticket. It's exclusive. There's not massive numbers of raffle tickets, so genuinely there's a very good chance that you can win this. This shirt, I don't know how much they retail for, probably what, 100, 200, 300 quid, I don't know, but honestly, get yourself on the website. Link is in the description below. Go and get yourself a raffle ticket. I've got one. I'll see you there. Enjoy the match preview. Peace. What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again, and this is your first match preview of the season. It's Southampton against Everton. It's going to be a tough game at Goodison. I think that Southampton will come into this game weaker than we expected. They've lost Danny Ings. Danny Ings is signed for Aston Villa. Vestergaard probably won't play. He will be joining Leicester. We don't know the extent of the players that will be coming in, and we don't know how good or bad those players are, to be fundamentally honest. I've looked at Southampton's business this season. It's all right. But losing Danny Ings is a massive blow. Like, it's just, I can't believe. I understand Danny Ings had 1 year or whatever it was, 18 months left on his contract, whatever it was. But I find it absolutely mad that they've taken away a goal scorer who gets you at least 15, 20 goals a season. And they've sold him to, in my mind, a rival. You know, a team that, you know, would also have been looking at between probably 10th and 12th before the signing of Danny Ings, maybe between 10th and 14th. You know, that sort of areas where I expected Southampton to sort of be. And selling Danny Ings was, I'm shocked. I'm shocked because I really do think they've put themselves in a real situation where they may not stay up. They've been linked with losing Ward-Prowse as well, and I think, again, for Southampton perspective, that's another hammer blow. And I'm sure the fans will be very confident that they can bring in these replacements, and I'm sure that they can. But you've just sold Danny Ings, potentially selling Ward-Prowse and Vestergaard. All have Premier League experience, all have played at the sort of the higher level. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised, and I think they'll struggle. They come to Goodison Park in a little bit of weird form, actually, because, you know, their pre-season's been pretty interesting, same as ours, and I'd just be surprised if it's an easy game for Southampton, if you get what I mean. I know no game is easy for the Premier League, but I think Everton will be confident. Yes, Everton got absolutely battered 4-0 by Manchester United in a pre-season friendly last weekend, which, again, that in my opinion should never have happened. However, it did, and you've got a team in Everton who has just welcomed back Richarlison, who's come back early. He got a standing ovation by the players, so he's going to be absolutely pumped. You know, the fans got behind him for winning his gold medal. You know, he's been wearing it with pride. He's been taking pictures of it with the fans. You know, this is a lad who's going to be full of confidence. I think he got 5 goals in the Olympics. You know, this is a guy that is going to be raring to go. And look, I would have preferred him to have a bit of a break, but at the end of the day, if he doesn't want one, he's 24 years old or 23 years old. You know, this guy knows his body better than I do, and better than anyone for that matter. I'm sure if he needs 2 weeks in the middle of the season, 2 or 3 weeks, I'm sure Everton will give him it because of the amount of games he's played. I'm sure they would just say to him, look, if you need a special break, you have a special break. You know, if you need to pretend to be injured for a couple of weeks, go and do that. Do whatever you need to get yourself back fit. But if he's raring to go, we're going to have a very confident Richarlison on our hands, which for the first game of the season, and equally the first few weeks against Leeds and Brighton, that's really exciting for Everton. That's really happy. And you know, Calvert-Lewin getting on the end of crosses from Gray and Townsend. Everton are going to be really, really dangerous, especially when Southampton have lost their biggest centre-half, 6'4" Vestergaard. And it just surprises me that they've let him go. They're letting him go. You know, I certainly think they would have wanted to get this game out of the way before they sold him. They've accepted £15 million. I don't think it's bad business. I don't think it's a bad centre-half at all. But I think it's the wrong time to be playing an Everton side where Calvert-Lewin's back. Will want to prove a point following the Euros where we didn't get much game time. You've got Richarlison who's going to be banging form. As I say, Gray's looked great in pre-season. Townsend has been able to beat a man and whip a ball in the box more times than I can count. He hit the crossbar last week, so he's going to be confident. So it doesn't really matter who starts for Everton. I think we're going to cause some problems. And some of the comments that have come out from some of the players as well, been really exciting. Abdoulaye Doucouré is coming out and saying we're going to be playing further forward. You know, he doesn't want to play defensive, which means to me he's going to be a ball-carrying midfielder, which is exactly what Everton need. You know, we're going to be playing on the front foot maybe. And yes, I expect us to be better defensively than we were against Manchester United. And yes, I'm annoyed at a few bit of things that have happened in this pre-season. I'm annoyed at the state that we are in terms of being able to invest in the squad. You know, we've lost out on players like Leon Bailey and Denzel Dumfries, who have been Everton targets. Certainly Dumfries probably 6 months, and Leon Bailey probably the best part of 2 years. And Everton have lost out on both of them. So Everton need to prove a point to the fans, and I think they will. I think Everton will go into this game. It'll probably be either a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, depending on how you want to play that midfield. And, you know, I could see Davies starting. There was rumours going around that James and Davies had COVID. Well, that can't be true. James has been sitting in live streams with Yuri Mina, and Davies has been walking around town and taking pictures with fans, so he can't have COVID. So my team is as follows: Jordan Pickford. I think it'll be Luca Dean, Mina, Ben Godfrey and Seamus Coleman. I think it could well be Doucouré and Tom Davies in the middle of the park. In front of them, I think it will be Richarlison on the left, James Rodriguez in the middle and Damari Gray on the right-hand side, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up front, knowing that we have got players on the bench that can do something. You know, certainly in Townsend, he can beat a man and deliver a ball. And, you know, with the aerial presence Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin have, Everton shouldn't have a problem scoring headed goals, certainly against a team that does not have their tallest centre-half. Another thing that I think you've got to look at is how wide we play, because Luca Dean is known for bombing down the left-hand side, getting down that channel, delivering a ball into whoever's in the box. He doesn't necessarily need to do that as much because the ball will be coming in with the style of play that we'll be doing. I fully expect that in this particular game, it will be similar Luca Dean, but again, when Everton change formation and maybe play 4-4-2, you may see Andros Townsend on the left-hand side, which means Luca Dean won't have to come forward as much. So again, that sort of makes you think there's different ways Everton can play now. I'm not happy with the signings. You know, I still think we need a right-back. I still think we need probably another striker. And we've been linked with several strikers today. I think we've been linked with Ciro Immobile today and Insigne. Look, we can get linked with everyone under the sun, and we've seen that. We've been linked with Koulibaly, we've been linked with Philippe Coutinho, we've been linked with Denzel Dumfries, Dejed Spence. We've been linked with loads of different players, but the fact of the matter is, and what appears to be the case, is until Everton get rid of players, they can't sign players. You know, Bernard left, which meant we was able to bring in 3 players. I think the wages are still less than what Bernard was on for those 3 players. You know, I think from what I understand, Damari's on 35, Andros Townsend's on 30, and Asmir Begovic is on 40. When if you put that in perspective, Bernard was on 130 grand a week. It's a big difference. Plus, when you've lost players that we've been paying for a long time, over years, Besic and other players that have left due to their contracts not being renewed, Everton haven't had a bad summer getting rid of players. They just haven't made any money from them. You know, the fee for Bernard was about £880,000. When you put it in perspective, I think not this January, but last January, he was linked with a £5 million move away. So Everton haven't done well in getting fees for players, and Moise Kean could end up being in that category. It will be very interesting to see if Moise Kean is on the bench on Saturday, or even in the starting lineup, because if he's not, I think that indicates very strongly that he is going. He put a tweet out the other day, or an Instagram post saying something like be back soon, or going home, or something like that, fingers crossed. Look, at the end of the day, if this kid doesn't want to play for us, then he can go. Like, he can go. I'm not bothered, and I certainly think that Everton will look to secure a fee so we can go and invest that money. Because at the minute, I'm really concerned that we haven't bought in a right back, and we haven't bought in a right back probably for 4 years now that we've needed one. Really, I think Seamus, you could probably argue 4 years. I think you could argue that we should have been looking at options there. Sidibe obviously coming on loan. And funny enough, he's still available, so that scares the shit out of me. So it's very interesting to see. Score prediction, I think Everton win this game, and I think it'll be 2-0. I think Everton will win this game 2-0. I have been joking around saying 3-0. I just think it might be a goal in either half. While Southampton have players like Ward-Prowse, there's always that possible issue of, a free kick. They've signed a young lad from Chelsea on loan. They've also signed Armstrong from the Championship, who scored a lot of goals last season. So it's not like they haven't got goal scorers, or they haven't got players who are capable of scoring. They just haven't done it in the Premier League before. And you can't even necessarily say that Che Adams has sort of ripped up the Premier League, because he hasn't. So yeah, I think this is a difficult one for Southampton. I'm hoping it's a difficult one, and I'm hoping Everton are comfortable in taking 3 points, because that's what we need. I think as a fan base, we need to be reassured that we're going in the right direction. And at the minute, I think I can question happily where we're going, because there's been a lot of off-the-field things this summer which have destroyed any confidence we had going into this season. Just after the end of last season, we'll come off the back of it thinking, right, Carlo's going to get it right, he's going to have money to invest, etc, etc, etc. And that's not been the case. Carlo's no longer our manager. Rafa Benitez is. And there's a lot of people already on his back. A lot of people have said, I've been negative towards him. I'm going to back him all day long. All day long, I'm going to back Rafa Benitez, because he needs that opportunity to get it right or wrong. And with the signings that we've made, albeit I've been impressed with Damari Gray, certainly. Begovic has looked very steady when he's played. And Andros Townsend has done nothing wrong in the games that he's played. They're not going to get you in the top 6. And that's the crux of it. Everton have not been able to go out and get players that they have needed to make that final push again into the top 6. And I think a lot of people are disappointed by that, on top of the fact that Rafa is a manager. And I understand that. I've predicted Everton to finish 12th this season. I think it's going to be very, very, very difficult for Everton to challenge the top 6. But we are capable of it. We are very much capable of it. We saw it last season. We were very capable of challenging anyone on our day, but we were also very capable of losing to anyone. And maybe that is just making me worry slightly about this season. But irrespective of that, we need to build trust again. And I think the board, I think the players have all got to do that. What we saw from Richarlison the other day was touching, and he will be absolutely blown apart when he gets the love that he's going to get on Saturday from the Everton fans. A game that I wish I was going to. I could have got a ticket, because obviously I'm a member, and Southampton didn't sell their away allocation, so I could have got front row in the upper visitors, for example. But I am actually in Southampton, which doesn't help. So yeah, it is what it is. But we've just got to keep going. It will be very, very interesting, this game, because we're going to be able to finally gauge what we're going to do, what sort of style of play we're going to be. I've seen more in pre-season that we're prepared to go a little bit more direct, a little bit through the channels, a little bit more looking for the height advantage maybe that we may have up front, you know, with the likes of a Charlotte and a Calvert-Lewin, because I think one of the things that Rafa has said to people is play them longer balls into the channels, but he's going to have no problems playing it direct, which means whoever's in the middle, whether that be James Rodriguez, whether that be Decore, whether it be Tom Davies, whether it be anyone who's following in, maybe that's where they do something, you know, maybe that's where they take a shot from 18 yards, or, you know, they try and make a late ditch run into the box, because it's one of the things that Everton were guilty of last season. No one would follow up, and if they did, it was very much usually James Rodriguez or Gylfi Sigurdsson, who we've not seen in pre-season, and James, we don't even know if he's going to be at the club. And again, it will be very interesting to see if he starts or he's on the bench or anything. I think it would be very, very unfair of Rafa Benitez to not play him if he is available, because we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him at Goodison. We haven't got to experience his quality. And even if it's for a week or two, it would just be nice to see. So yeah, guys, look, I'm leaving it there. I think it's very much going to be a game that Everton should win. I think Everton should be fairly confident going into it, just based on the fact that Southampton fans may be worried, may be concerned by their signings or actually their outgoings. And I think Everton just need to be able to press home their advantage, and they'll have fans for the first time in 18 months. They'll have, well, you know, they'll have a full capacity for the first time in 18 months. And if we go 1-0 up, it's going to be very, very joyous. If we go 1-0 down, I am concerned it will go a bit toxic, but we're not going to know that until we're 1-0 down, and we don't want that. We need to take 3 points, because I think we've got a tough game next week against Leeds, a game that will be completely different. Very, very much aggressive side, Leeds, very much trying to play on the front foot. I don't think Southampton will do that. I think Southampton will try and be solid, and we're just going to have to break them down. But I'm confident we can. I'm confident we will. And maybe a through ball or two, and I think Calvert-Lewin will get a goal. Guys, as I say, leaving it there. Have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video. Peace.